Good day. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Melissa. Today, I have to look at my calendar because, it's December. I got a Legend of Zelda calendar. I picked it out for my sister. She's a huge Legend of Zelda fan. Um, sorry. I'll get to the point here in a minute. I promise. Okay. So today's the 11th. Okay. So today's Sunday, December 11th, 2022. And I think I already said my name's Melissa. Welcome back to my channel. I am on the mend from being sick. My hair is pretty wild right now. I don't even care. But, uh, long story short, my sister was sick, earlier in the week. And she's really lucky. She's got like the kind of immune system to where she could be sick for like 3 or 4 days and then she's done. Um, and, uh, And I unfortunately have the kind of immune system to where if I get sick, I'm usually sick for a month. But I'm praising God, praising the Lord that uh, today I feel like I'm on the mend. Yesterday was a rough one. I started feeling like I might be getting sick. Like, I want to say Thursday might have been when I started feeling like it, maybe. I was trying to be cautious about being around other people, but I did go to a volleyball thing on Friday when and I brought some snackies, so I'm hoping that I didn't make anybody sick at all. But I was really careful when I was cooking, like really careful when I was cooking. I was baking some cookies, making sure that I was really clean, washing my hands and all that. I always do anyway, but extra careful. But I had a little bit of a sore throat and some drippage, and I'm like, well, hopefully this isn't me getting sick. Then Saturday, I felt exhausted on Friday. That's one of the reasons why I left volleyball early, was because my reaction time totally sucked. And my reaction time sucked, and I just was so exhausted. Like, I felt like I probably should have went home from work, but I was trying to stick it out because my boss, we'd had so many call-ins already, and I didn't want to stress her out. So I was just, and I'm not around the children much. I'm the secretary at my daycare, so it's like, I'm not around them much. Like, I see them in passing, like, real quick, and sometimes towards the end of the day when I'm getting ready to lock up and the parents are coming and picking up their kids, but I don't see them very much. So they were okay. And anyway, so my point was that earlier in the week, Shelly was sick, my sister, and she had like all of the symptoms of influenza A, and it's been going around like crazy. Like, I've heard it's been going around other places, but it was going around my daycare as well. I think nearly all the classrooms had a case of it. Highly contagious, I guess. But anyway, so she had all of the symptoms of that. And if I'm not mistaken, which I know I'm not mistaken because, it's a big deal, they're very similar. Like, they're almost the same symptoms as COVID. So it's a possibility that she had COVID, but I don't think it was COVID. Like, she didn't lose her taste and smell. It was off, but it wasn't, but it wasn't gone. And, yeah. So anyway, I digress a whole lot. So anyway, so we were trying to like kind of keep away from each other as much as possible so I didn't catch anything. But I'm hoping that what I've got is just a really bad head cold, because I was really exhausted on Friday. And then yesterday was Saturday. And yesterday I felt like, wow, I felt rough. Like, I was achy. Just in my shoulders mostly, but that was also on a Friday morning. Was Friday or Thursday or Friday morning. I woke up and I had to cough. I cough all the time. I'm asthmatic, and I tense up a little bit in my shoulders when I get ready to cough. And when I did that, I had this crazy crunch, like right through here. It was like a crunch, and then it just kind of spread out through my shoulders and my neck, and it hurt, and it still hurts a little bit, but it's not nearly as bad as it was. Whew, it hurt so bad that day, and it hurt the next day. So I want to say that was Thursday. It just hurt really bad. But anyway, and it hurt really bad yesterday too. But now the whole point is that I feel so much better today. Like, yesterday, just walking through the house was fatiguing. Just walking through the house, I'm walking like 20 feet. Totally wore me out. And that's not the whole house, but that's, like, that's how it felt. Like, I'd walk a little bit and then I'd be like, oh, I'm exhausted. So But today I feel like a big fog is lifted, even though I'm still like kind of wonky, and I'm still my reaction time's still not great and all that, because I tried to spell some things when I was texting my sister, and she like I was spelling things out, and they were like I was beginning to spell them wrong and then correcting myself. So like I was one of my cats, she likes, whenever we get a big thing of toilet paper, she likes to play with the plastic, and we usually don't let her play in it because we don't want her to ruin the toilet paper, and then we also don't want her to suffocate or anything like that. So after I put the toilet paper away finally, because we've had it for like a week, I put the toilet paper away, and then I ripped a really big hole in it. That way she would be able to get out easily, like her whole body, like she could just plop in and get up and come out, but at least she'd be able to play with the plastic without dying, hopefully. So anyway, I went to spell, like, this is one of the two examples, the other one I forget, but I went to spell whole while I was texting my sister to tell her about it, and I started spelling it WHOLE, and I'm like, no, that's not the right whole. That's like a whole food or wholesomeness. But yeah, so anyway, I digress. But anyway, my point was that basically, I'm still not doing well as far as like fitness and health. Really not doing very well at all. In this last week, I baked so much. I made a bunch of treats for work. In fact, I've got some left over that I could show you. Just kind of through this little container. Oh, I can't turn it. All right, so here are two of the kinds of cookies I made. They're peanut butter cookies. One's a peanut butter blossom with the Hershey's Kiss in it, and then the other one has a peanut butter, like a white chocolate peanut butter bear that I got from a fundraiser in it. And then I also have this. It is a pretzel peanut butter marshmallow chocolate dessert with like a Reese's Pieces garnish on top. It's similar to a Rice Krispies treat, but not quite the same, and it is so good. I was really surprised because I thought it was going to be too sweet, but it was really good. I also made lemon cookies that had powdered sugar on the outside, and one of them had, like, I made some of the batch with and some of them without raspberry preserves on top. So it was like a lemon raspberry cookie. It was really good. That one was borderline too sweet for me. I've had two of those and I've made like a lot. But it is really good. So that was fun. And then I've made peanut butter cookies with Reese's Pieces in them and whatnot. So, and I think I got into this baking kick because last month we had a bake-off at work, and I love cookies. I'm a cookie fan. But I made carrot cake cupcakes, and I made from scratch cream cheese icing with those. I used the box stuff for the carrot cake cupcakes, but I added, I think it was pecans and golden raisins to that. And then I made the cream cheese icing myself. Well, technically my boyfriend and I did, but anyway, or boyfriend, that's another thing. I'll get to that. He's not my boyfriend anymore. He's my fiance. So that's fun. But anyway, at the time was my boyfriend. We made that, made mint chocolate chip cookies, which they're like a mint cookie, but with chocolate chips. I did half the amount of chocolate chips they asked for, and the other half I did like the Andes mints, basically. They're actually for baking, but it was pieces of like mint chocolate pieces, but it's like an Andes mint, basically. I did that. And then I made monster cookies, which are made with like oatmeal and peanut butter and M&Ms, and I think I did walnuts with that one. Yeah, and I think, and I made something called Watergate salad, but it can also be called Pistachio Delight. But basically it's a pistachio pudding fluff. And so if you haven't tried that, look it up online. It's pretty good. But anyway, so that's what I made for the bake-off. And that kind of got me into this big baking kick. So I made all these other cookies later that I just told you about. And I'm probably missing some in there, but they were really good. So my problem though is that I've been eating a lot of garbage, and surprisingly not a whole lot of what I've been baking. I've not eaten a whole lot of it. Like I've eaten some, but most of it's gone to like my coworkers and stuff. Except for that pretzel thing. Like I didn't try it for a while, and then when I did try it, like it was like hours and hours into the workday, and when I did try it, I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. So I ate quite a bit of that. But anyway, so I was just gonna say that I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to get back into doing better, and one of the big things, like they say, they say that good nutrition and eating habits are 80% of like being well, as far as that goes. And then exercise is the other 20%. So I know I've not been exercising much. I've been doing volleyball once or twice a week, depending on whether or not our Friday night group meets. But I'm part of a Wednesday night group as well. And my sister has been coming with me to that, and she's been doing so well. Like she has improved immensely. It's amazing. And I don't mean that condescendingly either. I mean that like she's really improved. But anyway, so today I am doing 2 pieces of leftover pizza and some Brussels sprouts for breakfast, which I'm going to probably have to stick in the microwave again. But my goal is to get some vegetables in, because I know that if I'm eating better, then my body should be able to fight this, whatever this infection is. I think it's a head cold. I don't think it's influenza A, which is awesome. Definitely don't think it's COVID, but I'm super happy that I'm already getting better. Because again, usually when I get sick, it takes like a month for me to get better, if not 2 months. And I'm like, well, another great way to get better would be to actually, eat well. So it's like, even if I'm sick and I can't exercise, I can at least feed my body good stuff. So last night, I just felt so weak and fatigued. So I was going to cook, but then Shelly's like, I told my sister, I'm like, I kind of want pizza. I'm like, we could order pizza, that way we don't cook. I'm like, or to save money, I could make some soup and some toasted cheese sandwiches. Grilled cheese for some of you out there. My family, I grew up calling them toasty cheese sandwiches, but grilled cheese, same thing. Because we've got soup and we've got lots of bread. I don't even know how we came up with so much bread, because we usually don't buy bread. But then Shelly was on like a peanut butter and jelly kick for like a week, and so she bought quite a bit of bread. But now I have this extra loaf of bread that I guess yesterday was the Best Buy date on it, and it still looks good, so it's probably fine. And I was raised not to waste food. Like, it's a big deal in my house. We don't waste food. So anyway, so I've got that loaf of bread, and it's regular, like sandwich bread. It's white sandwich bread. We usually get 35-calorie bread, the 35 calories per slice. So we've got 1 of the wheat breads, if not 2 of the wheat breads, and I think 1 of the white breads with the 35 calories. So we've got 2 wheat breads and 1 white bread with the 35 calorie per slice. And then we've got this whole loaf of regular white sandwich bread, which is probably going to be about 70 calories per slice. That's usually how it goes. Let me see here. 60 calories per slice. It's 120 total for 2. So there's that. And then that I just brought home from work, because I was like, don't throw it out if it's not bad. Don't get rid of good food. Then the 35 calorie per slice white bread, we've got 1 of these. We've got, I don't know if that one's any good or not, but we've got 35 calorie per slice whole wheat bread. And I know that it's flipped on the camera since it's in mirror mode, basically. And then we've also got, which this one might not be any good anymore, which would be a shame because I hate wasting, but this big sourdough bread. So again, she was on kind of a bread kick, or not a bread kick, a peanut butter and jelly kick, and bought a lot of bread. And then I bought 1 loaf of bread the last time that I went shopping, and then I brought home that loaf of bread. So, but I've got a friend that freezes her bread, so I might do that. I might freeze it. That way it doesn't go bad, and we also don't waste it. So anyway, so that was about 15 minutes to let you know. Oh, I forgot to tell you about that too. That was about 15 minutes to let you know about what's been going on and and what I'm doing for breakfast lunch today, because it's actually 12:21 right now, but I got up at like 10-ish, 10, 11. In the last 48 hours, I have slept for 24 hours, so I've definitely needed the rest. But I'm starting a few small chores today, and I have to remind myself not to overdo it, because usually that first day that I feel better whenever I'm sick, like that first day I feel better, I'm like, yeah, let's do as much as possible, and then I wear myself out. So um, I will try to take it easy, and just do a couple small things. Like I changed the bathroom trash, I put away the toilet paper, I've got some laundry going. We're blessed enough to have a washer and dryer, so I've got the washer going. But yeah, so the last thing, yummy, yummy, yummy. The last thing that I wanted to say is that I am now engaged to my fiance now. Was boyfriend, now fiance. He asked me on November 20th, 19th or 20th, which is a Sunday. It was a Sunday. So at the Garden Glow in Missouri, the St. Louis, Missouri Botanical Gardens. So in which they're still doing the Garden Glow. So if you live roundabouts that area, like we live in central Illinois, so it's only like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours drive. But we made it a weekend. We went to the Lebanon, I think it's Lebanon, Illinois, Victorian holiday Saturday night. We got to ride in a horse and carriage, so that was cool. Horse-drawn carriage, I should say, not a horse and carriage. We didn't ride in the horse. Anyway, but we also, so we went to that, and that was a lot of fun. And then we did the Garden Glow the next day, and there were some hiccups with all of that, but I love him so much. He's such a good man, and yeah, so that's when he proposed to me, and I knew it was going to happen. It wasn't a surprise, but I'm glad, because I'm weird about surprises sometimes. So so I knew he was going to do it, and when he did, it was nice, and luckily the ring fit, so that's a whole nother story, because I won't get into all that, but anyway, I'll give you the short version of it. I found a very cheap one online, because I don't want him to waste his money on a ring, because one, I'm not much of a ring wearer, but again, try to keep it short. So I found one that was about $20 that I liked. He ordered 5 of them because we didn't know what size I wore. And his budget, which this is so sweet to me, his budget was like $3,000 to $5,000, and I was like, don't spend that money on a ring, just on a ring. And he's like, you're worth a diamond, and it's really sweet, but it's unnecessary, I feel. So anyway, super sweet. But so he ordered 5 because we didn't know what size I wore. We never got myself sized, and so one of them is bound to fit. Well, they never sent it to him, and it looks like it's a scam. That's the short version. So he, I guess his mom had a ring from his dad's mom, which is his grandmother, and one of the ones that he really liked, this grandmother. And if I'm not mistaken. And so we think it's costume jewelry, but it was sweet and special because it was from him or from her. And I don't mind. I don't really care, but it's pretty, and it just happened to fit. It's a little snug because I got big fat sausage fingers right now, but but it fit. And so and I'm not wearing it right now because it's the morning and I don't want to sleep with it and cut off my circulation, because when you lay down and you sleep, you get nice and warm, your body expands a little bit, and I don't want it to cut off my circulation. But anyway, I digress quite a bit. So that is the short version of it. I'm sorry it took me 20 minutes to tell you what I had for lunch, or what I'm having for lunch, breakfast, brunch. Make good choices, be your best self, and live your best life, and I will talk to you in a future video. Bye.